Hello, everybody, and welcome in to another good day for a coach's show, a Coach Jud Dryden Show. I'm Bill Anderson. Coach Dryden's beside me. Today's show, as always, is brought to you by SLC Firearms, 931-684-5731, 917 North Main Street. Stop in and see Mike Matusik, Chris Cartwright for all your gunsmithing, gun sales. If you need optics, you need ammo, the Hornet ammo, it's at Shelbyville Lumber. Stop in and see Mike Matusik and Chris Cartwright at Shelbyville, inside Shelbyville Lumber at SLC Firearms. Go to the plumbing, hang a right, and then you're there.
Did you not forget somebody?
Coach, how could I have done this? I forgot the man, the myth, the legend. If you're really lucky, you might see Ricky Epperson down at SLC Firearms. Ricky Epperson from Coach Dryden and Bill Anderson. That's your shout out of the day.
I'm sure he appreciates that.
Ricky Epperson loves the good shout out. All right, Coach, fish fry, big hit. We got to give some shout outs and thank some folks. I want to thank Mason Shavers, William Bobo, and Stephen Bobo for helping me. I want to thank Mary Lita Shavers. I want to thank Bubba D. McCullough for fixing the warmer. That was outstanding. I want to thank my good friend Brian Crumball, which is the only friend that showed up at my house to cut them fish up on Thursday night. It was me and one guy. Let's go to the cook. I want to thank Randy Clanton. Randy, you don't know what you've done for so many kids, the pregnancy center with the equipment you've got, and what good work you've done for the last 20 years around here. Hats off to you. Billy Beach stood up there and cooked fish with me the whole time. Billy, thank you. Caleb Doak, great work by you. Caleb's back was hurting, and I think he needed that sponsor that I had Saturday from the league back in joint.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because Caleb was hurting. So Caleb, that'll leave. It'll help you. Trip York, he helped out with the Hush Puppies with Randy, and Trip York with the Hush Puppies. Thank you, Trip York, so much. And, Coach, thank you and your coaching staff for coming up there and taking that picture. And the ladies were going to frame it for me.
They were.
They are.
Oh, really?
They didn't.
That's
right awesome.
Here. So, thank you.
Y'all made my day.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is great. I'll hang that up at the office. That just meant the world to me. Thank you, guys. That's tremendous. That's awesome. Thank you. You're welcome. Good night. That was a good fish fry. Great turnout. Mm-hmm. It had a feel I hadn't felt at Central in a long time. But your parents, and I know you can't remember them all, but you know them better than me. Give some shout outs to some of these people that work so hard.
I'm gonna have to pull a Mary Lita Shavers, and there's just way too many.
Okay, you know what we can do?
I can't do it.
You know what we can do?
I mean,
let's just give it all to Mary Lita again.
There you go. I mean, there's so many of them, and it's not just the fish fry. It's all the things that go on behind the scenes. It's everything from working the table at a JV game to take tickets. It's the concession stand. There's just so many things, and they all we have so many that give so much of their time to these young men and in our program that it would be hard. I'd be remiss to even call one, necessarily one, because of the everything they all do, and we're just incredibly appreciative. I mean, every day it's a thankful prayer that they are part of what we do.
Well, I showed up at 12:30. We were having trouble finding water, and Mary Lita's right there with me. So were the boys. You had Mason, you had William, you had Stephen. I think they learned about putting hot sauce in. I taught them how to do some things. But watching those boys get the coolers out and watching Stephen and William grimacing, and Mason's trying to push it. I'm like, boys, you're young. Get that cooler and get it out of there. But it was good, and it was good for them to learn some stuff too.
Well, sure. I mean, anytime they get to experience something new, it's an opportunity, and who knows? I mean, it's just getting a heavy cooler out of a truck, and who knows when that's going to come back to.
Well, the worry was my wife said, "What would have happened if you get coaches, players hurt before the game?" Well, I wasn't going to let your boys get hurt.
I appreciate that.
I wasn't going to let your boys get hurt, but they are young.
They are young, and they heal fast,
and they heal quick.
They do. So.
Outstanding night. Thanks for everybody that came out. We had a great crowd. Mm-hmm. Great crowd. Ball game wise. 29-22, we get the win.
We do.
I don't think we played as well as we wanted to play.
We did not.
We just didn't.
No, and a lot of the effort was there. It was just a lot of just mental errors at times, and some emotions came out at times, and that it started to wear on us a little bit. They hit us with a couple of things that. We had prepared for and just didn't execute on our side. So I don't know. It was one of those games that we're still trying to get our feet back from underneath us from the bye week. And it's it's one of those things. We keep working at it. We keep it doing the things that got us to where we are, while we're still trying to do new things to just to get us to move forward again.
Let's talk a little bit about the kick return William Bobo has.
Yeah.
Stephen Bobo. That was a lot of blocks, but Stephen lays a great block on that play. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, it was just the kickoff itself was relatively short at that moment, and you have two great athletes on the field in those two brothers, and they work well off of each other.
They do.
You could see it on the defense in the defensive secondary that night. They were doing the same kind of thing. So it was just one of those. It was set up nicely. Coach Nunez has done a great job of preparing our guys all year in the special teams, and it was executed well. And Stephen is, for as good of an athlete as he is incredibly unselfish, and he'll make a block. He is very tough. And he'll make a block when he needs to. He'll make another play when he needs to. And he really the greatest thing about him and his brother both is they're not really concerned with who gets all the shout outs and accolades. They just want to play football and compete.
It comes from their daddy. Todd. It comes from you, my man. You did a good job with them boys. Talk about the interception. I'm going to get off the Bobos for a minute. I'm going to make a whole show about him. What a pick by Stephen. I called it an Odell Beckham. Goes up with his left hand and pulls it down.
And that's really the second one he's had this year. He had another one very similar at Franklin County, where he elevated, got up, and made a play. So, once again, he has earned that spot in the secondary that he has right now.
He has,
and it's and he plays well.
They thought they were going to pick on the freshman corner. You could tell that's what their game plan was. Yeah. I don't think they realized this freshman corner is not your average freshman.
Yeah, he as he plays in the secondary into the safety position, he reads the field well. He sees the field as well from the secondary position at safety as he does anywhere else at quarterback on the offense, and he's special there too. And that's something that we're looking to capitalize on moving forward. As we finish out this year and into next year, we're really hoping that he starts to play a big role.
He had several other huge breakups on deep balls that were big for us.
Oh yeah,
huge.
And first half defensively, we obviously did not play well at all. But in the second half, we really bowed up and played the way we should have the whole game.
Right.
It was just getting everybody settled down and let's make this thing work for us. And then we turned into a little bit more of a ball control style offense instead of going after the shot plays, things like that. So the way the game played out for us, it ended up well. But there are obviously a lot of things that have to be fixed in a very short week. And moving into the playoffs so that we're playing better football going in.
All right, big run in the second half. The game would have been over. It's 29-22, the final score. Rocky Chandler breaks a 69-yard run. What in the world was the call? Because we don't chop block anyway. Rocky's all the way to the end zone. The flag's on the other side of the field all the way back.
It wasn't a chop block. It was a personal foul call on that far side. I did not witness it. Coach Hunsaker said that he did and said it was a legit call for whatever reason. So, the one thing –
because the game's over right there. Game's over.
It would have been. And, the one thing about the officiating that we've seen this year, last year, and all that, I'm incredibly grateful for the men that show up and do that.
Yeah.
It's a good part-time job, I guess, but pays halfway well. But at the same time, it's something that only a few people are doing now. Right. And we don't have a football game if they don't show up.
We don't.
So as they come in, I think they have the best of intentions. And like I said, Coach Hunsaker on that call specifically said it was a legit call. And we had to come back and make things happen, on top of that. So one more moment where we had to snap and clear. We had to forget about what just happened and move on and play football again. And that's something that we have gotten very good at this year. We've had multiple times where something has happened and we've got to let it go and focus on right now and not in the past, not in the future. So a lot of that is stuff that we talk about and that we really hammer our young men on, is to be able to focus on what's happening right now in front of me, what's important right now, because what's past is past and it can't live in the present. So we have to, and so we've done a pretty good job of that this year overall. That's one of the reasons we've been able to overcome some adversity at times, overcome some injuries, overcome some poor timing on officiating calls, whether they be legit or not. The timing on some of them has been terrible for us, as far as when it's happened on and inside the game and whatnot. So
it hurts on a 69-yard touchdown.
It does. It absolutely does. But to be able to come back
right
and finish the way we did was big.
Coach, several people had a question that I've heard on the sidelines. I've heard it all week. When it's 21-15, what's the thought process of going for two and not just letting the kicker kick the extra point? Is it an analytics thing? What goes into your train of thought there?
At that point, it was the conversation was we had stalled on offense. A 3-yard gain is something that we typically are able to get.
Right.
Okay. Now when we set up in our swinging gate, we have automatics in that. So Maddox running the football there, it was an automatic based on numbers. And then keeping the boys out to go for two with an offensive play call. It goes back to wanting the offense to get a push and make a play. So it was as much about, and I understand the question completely.
Because you're up 6, that gets you up 7.
It does. And
he's a good kicker.
Yep. But at the same time, the flow of the game was starting to get away from us a little bit. So it was an opportunity to reestablish momentum in that point.
Gotcha.
And, we didn't make it. And that happens. Most times we're going to get 3 yards.
No, we came back and made it later.
75% of the time we're going to get 3 yards. So that's where that came in. So a little bit of analytics and as much about the emotion and momentum at the time.
Key point of the ball game at the end. It's 4th and 1. I look at Gary Johnson and I said, they're going to run it to Crenshaw. It's going to be the play. Oh, no, we got a punt. I said, no, we can't punt here. Sure enough, that's the play call. Yeah. What a play by Radon Crenshaw. Yeah. You're lying at everybody, but Radon he was not going to be denied.
No, and that goes back to, it was a confidence thing for him. He had fumbled earlier in the game. It gave him a chance to get the ball in a big situation. And I get all calls are 50-50, in some areas. And that's one of those that we'd be sitting here right now and everybody's wanting to know why in the world I wouldn't have punted in that situation.
No, I know why you didn't. The momentum wasn't right.
Yeah, and we had to do something, and it was the same thought process going back to the 2-point conversion try. Right. It was all about trusting your guys and what they could do, and that was the other piece to it is our offensive line and looking at them and seeing how they went out onto that field in that half. They were ready to win the game for us. And Radon had it in his eyes that he was ready to make that play for us. So for me, the trust factor is a non-issue.
And I thought it was a class act by you to take the knee the way you did, because I'm not so sure you could hand it to Radon. He went right in, but it was a class act.
But it was just to get out of there. The game
Let's get out. Game's over.
The game had gotten incredibly emotional on both sides of the ball, and it was just time to be done, be safe, be done, and move on to Tullahoma at that point. So.
All right, we'll go over some scores real quick, and then we're going to have another message from SLC Firearms. Tullahoma beat Spring Hill 29-7. Franklin County beat Lawrence County 31-30. It's on their second one of the year. Columbia beat James Lawson 38-3. Kind of keeping up with this other region, Coach, because the playoffs are coming. Hillsboro 49, Glencliff 0. Yeah. Summit lost to Nolensville 17-14. And Page had a big win over Centennial 24-12. So the way it sort of looks, Page is the 1 seed now, right?
Until Thursday night. Until we find out.
Centennial's 2. I believe Nolensville's 3.
No, right now, yes. Right now. But if Nolensville beats Page, that throws everything into a tizzy up there.
And Hillsboro's 4.
Hillsboro is locked in at the 4, from what I understand. So, it'll be I don't know. Lots riding on Page's. Thursday night game, just like it is for our region. So we'll just
it's on Thursday too.
It yes, it's
at Page.
That I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. SLC Firearms is the sponsor for the Coach Dryden Show at 917 North Main Street. We'll walk into Shovel Lumber, go all the way to Plumbing, hang a right, and you're there. You can see Mike Matusik, Chris Cartwright for all your gunsmith, and gun cleaning needs. SLC Firearms 931-684-5731. Stop in and see them. And if there's something you need, they'll get it, and they'll get it pretty quick. Coach, the game of the year, Thursday night. right here in Shelbyville, 7 o'clock. And I'm going to keep saying Thursday. It's not Friday.
Correct.
Yep. Tullahoma's coming in here.
Mm-hmm.
Got a buddy of mine over there that's close to the coaching staff. Tullahoma's plan is to stack the box 8 and 9 and go after your left side. That's the defensive plan. Mm-hmm. Offensively, they're going to spread you out. They're going to go trips, sometimes 4 wide, and they're going to screen you. And they're very confident.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure they are. They should be. They're playing well.
They are.
And they've been playing their last 3 much better than we've been playing our last 3 as far as, on tape. And their Coach Sis does a great job with those guys. They're going to be well prepared. As far as what their game plan is for us, it's not a secret that we run the football.
Nope.
So we'll have to be able to execute in other areas and to be able to overcome that. On the flip side, defensively, we've got to have a good game out of our defensive line so that
we need our pass rush back. I think our pass rush is the key to this game.
It could be, yeah, and lane gap integrity, things like that. So we've just got to execute a game plan the way that we know we can, not necessarily the way.
Are we going to be? Shown. How's our health?
We're getting there.
Okay, good.
All those players that we've had the last 3 weeks that have been banged up are getting closer and closer to be 100%. So we'll be able to put a better product on the field as far as personnel goes this week, more so than we have in the last 3.
The Spring Hill game really beat us up, didn't it?
It did for
whatever
some
reason.
Strange injuries. I mean, it's just stuff that that we hadn't had all year. All of a sudden,
you have a bye week, play Spring Hill, and all of a sudden we're hurt.
Yeah, and we had 3 come out of that game dinged up, and it was kind of crazy. So that's kind of where we're at right now, and just getting them back. So.
Big game for your quarterback, DeLauder. Mm-hmm. He came from Tullahoma. He transferred over. I'm sure this is important to him. Yep. It's important to everybody. Mm-hmm. This is the region.
Yep, he's been great this week. He's been focused. He doesn't look like he's been pressing, and trying to and all that. He stayed inside of his resume, so to speak, and he's done the things correctly that we need him to do. So he's had a solid week of practice.
I'll say one thing: if they're going to stack the box with 8 and 9, that gives us an opportunity, maybe at times, to take a shot or two.
Right, and we've done that in the past.
Yep.
So that's not a secret either.
And you've got several people who can go deep.
Yep, we do, and
you got William. You got 3. You got.
And at the end of the day, it comes back down to blocking.
Yeah.
We got to be able to protect. We got to be able to run the blocking schemes. We got to be able to do everything that we need to do in order to be able to execute whatever the call is in the offense in general. So we're ready. We feel like we've had a solid 2 days practice. So we're excited for the opportunity.
Well, I don't hear any chirping out of your side, but I hear it down the road. So we'll see what's going to happen Thursday night. They're coming to our place, and folks, please get out and support the Eagles, because I'm telling y'all, Tullahoma going to bring 3,000 people. There better be more blue and gold there.
Well, we hope so.
There's going to be. Everybody come out on Thursday night. Shelbyville, Tullahoma. It's for the region. It's a big deal in the playoffs.
It is. It's home field advantage all the way through. It's there's a lot riding on the game other than just Tullahoma, Shelbyville.
Coach rally the troops, get them out there.
It's a region championship for us. It's home playoffs throughout it's home field advantage throughout the playoffs. It's bragging rights. It's everything that you want in a football game and in a rivalry coming up this week.
Well, I want to thank all you all for that. Thank you, Coach. Thank your staff, Mary Lita, the quarterback moms. Thank y'all for this. That's probably the last big one that I'm going to do all of it like that. I'm retired from it, and what a nice way to go out. Thank you all for the help. And it was a good time.
It was.
And it's good to see things going in the right direction at Central High School.
It's fun to be part of it, and it's a blessing to be a part of it for sure.
Thursday night, get out. Let's make this year special and even more. It's already been a great year. Let's make it even better. Let's go win a championship.
Amen, Bill.
For Coach Dryden, I'm Bill Anderson. We'll see you at Central High School Thursday night.